What's up, gamers? Hi, Guardians, and hello, Internet. Welcome to another Sloop Gaming video, and welcome to another Thursday, aka TWID Day in the Destiny universe. Let's take a look. This week in Destiny, April... This week in Destiny, Faux 2020 Faux. This one's brought to us by the Destiny 2 community team. What up, team? This week in Destiny, we are gearing up for Destiny 2 Into the Light. We're less than a week away from our next major content update, and we're pretty excited about it. List of topics for the week, a recap of the dev livestream number 3, the Final Shape developer gameplay preview on April 9th, PvP strike team update, weapon balance update, reduced cost of strand fragments, new light tutorial skip and new light kit, new light experience wallpapers, updating the default updating the default chat experience, Iron Banana returns, Onslaught Legend Challenge details, player support report, and the art and movie of the week. Destiny 2 Into the Light developer live stream number 3 recap. I could read it all, but you probably watched it. Link in the description below. But here's a quick summary of everything that was shared. So reprise exotic missions, they announced that the reprise versions of 2 classic exotic missions, the Whisper and 0 Hour, these reprise versions will retain some familiar elements of the classic missions, but you'll also find updated puzzles, encounters, rewards, and triumphs, as well as new secrets to discover on Legend difficulty. The Whisper will be available on April 9th with the launch of Destiny 2 Into the Light, and 0 Hour will be available in May. The Whisper, Eris Morn wants to pick your brain, nothing creepy. She just thought that she could use your memories to shape an updated version of a weapon that would be very useful against the Witness. Yes, it's Whisper of the Worm, the exotic sniper rifle that lives in your power weapon slot. Just be careful that when jumping around in the dark, because sometimes we don't remember things like they used to be, and you don't want to drown in the deep. 0 Hour, Ada 1 has a mission for you. You need to go back to the old tower, take down some fallen pirates that want to get a hold on a very powerful weapon of our past, and maybe, just maybe, face a scary robot called Trevor that feels very lonely and wants to give Guardians a hug. The updated and craftable Outbreak Perfected exotic pulse rifle is waiting for those who manage to avoid him and finish on time. Additional crafting options after obtaining the exotic weapon from each of these reprise missions. New quests will become available. This will allow you to unlock additional crafting options, including upgrading each weapon's unique intrinsic behaviors. A new quest will become available each week for 3 weeks. Reprise ships. In addition to the new exotic weapons you'll earn, you can also earn reprise versions of the classic ships. The Whisper will offer a new ship with an updated look, Carve of the Worm, inspired by 1,000 Wings, while 0 Hour will offer Vamana Junker, also with an updated look built on the frame of scrap CF71791 and inspired by Outbreak Perfected. New PvP maps for the 30% of the community that play PvP. As we mentioned in our February 22nd TWID, we're excited to release 3 new Crucible maps on May 7th. While these maps will also be available in 66 playlists like Control, they have been specifically built with a focus on 3v3 game modes in mind, including Dominion, Survival, and our newest mode, Collision. With the new maps, you'll get to enjoy the backdrop of new locations you haven't yet explored in PvP, including Europa, Niamuna, and the terraformed pyramid ship. New maps are Eventide Labs in Europa, Cirrus Plaza in Niamuni, and Dissonance, the terraformed pyramid ship. We'll have a deeper dive on these maps as we get closer to the release date. Character re-customization. Yes, you can re-customize your character. In our January 18th TWID, we revealed our plans to add character re-customization to Destiny 2 before the launch of the final shape. During this week's live stream, we announced that character re-customization will be coming with Destiny 2 Into the Light on April 9th. With this update, you'll be able to modify the appearance of your Guardians anytime, without cost or limits to the number of changes. To do so, simply launch into Destiny 2, and you'll notice a new option when you hover over a character at the character selection screen. While you can change the body type, face, hair, head, and markings, keep in mind it won't be possible to change from one origin to another, i.e. human, exo, or awoken. Additional name change available April 9th. Destiny 2 Into the Light will also bring the option for an additional one-time name change to all the players at no cost. On April 9th, after the update has gone live, you can log into bungie.net and change your Bungie ID using these step-by-step directions. If you didn't take advantage of our previous name change opportunity, now you'll have two. Choose wisely. So Pantheon, we shared a few words about Pantheon, the new raid boss gauntlet starting on April 30th. In Pantheon, you'll have the opportunity to face raid bosses in a weekly challenge with escalating difficulties and rewards. This is a chance to rally your clan or use Fireteam Finder to take on this challenge. We'll have more details as we get closer to the date. New Light tutorial experience. We also shared details on some updates we're bringing to the New Light experience and the way players can choose to interact with it. If you missed our live stream, we have a full breakdown below after the weapons balance update. The Final Shape developer gameplay preview. Join us on April 9th at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time when we'll share all new details and gameplay from the Final Shape during our developer gameplay preview. We're thrilled to show you what we've been working on. In addition to seeing new gameplay, you'll get some developer insight and a behind-the-scenes look at behind-the-scenes look at what you can expect as we journey into the Traveler. Make sure to tune in and join us. You won't want to miss it. Hey, just real quick, I am excited for all the content that Into the Light is going to deliver starting next week, Tuesday, April 9th. However, I'm even more excited for this developer gameplay preview for the Final Shape. I will be live streaming and giving my reactions and hosting a Q&A in chat. Link to my Twitch channel is, of course, on all of my socials. I really hope that everyone is there. I think this is going to be an absolute banger. This is what we're looking for. This is the Final Shape. This is the final expansion of Destiny 2. This is the culmination of the Light versus Dark saga. After being on this bus for nearly 10 years, everything is coming to a head. This is the moment, and to get more insight and more details on what we can all expect, it's just exciting. I can't wait, and I certainly hope to see everyone on stream in chat. PvP Strike Team update. Hello everyone, and welcome to another PvP Strike Team update. This is going to be a smaller one simply because most of our work for this release has been centered around wrapping up the PvP map pack, which will be released in May. However, in addition to the weapon balance changes that we mentioned a couple weeks ago, we have some additional impactful changes we'd like to discuss. So let's get to it. Competitive. For update 7.3.6, we're making some changes to the game modes available in the competitive playlist. We're removing competitive. For update 7.3.6, we're making some changes to the game modes available in the competitive playlist. We're removing survival and countdown rush and replacing them with 3v3 clash and collision. And for collision, we have changed some zone placements on maps like Dead Cliffs and Vostok based on feedback from labs. For clash, we'll also be swapping the ammo meter system for the ammo crate system. Collision was tested in labs with the ammo crate system. It was designed with it in mind, but internally we have also been testing clash with crates for some time. The benefit of the crate system in the clash game mode specifically is that it continues to promote map movement and helps to disincentivize passive team play, which can occur when there are no on-map objectives to otherwise encourage flow in and out of engagement zones. This change will result in a small net increase in special ammo availability in competitive compared to the ammo meter system, while still being an overall reduction from the pre-update 7.3.5 respawn values. Trials. We have heard the feedback that the special ammo economy in Trials, while improved, doesn't feel quite right just yet. So the first 2 weeks of update 7.3.6, we will be experimenting with it to gather additional data. The first week of Trials will be running what we refer to as the unrestricted special ammo crate system, where all 4 ammo crates spawn every round, 1 by each team's initial spawn and 2 in neutral locations. The players who have special ammo will drop it on death when they are killed. They will use this to draw a baseline for an upper limit of special ammo in the Trials environment. The second week will be moving to a restricted version of ammo crates, where only 2 crates spawn each round, the ones by each team's initial spawn. While players will still lose special ammo on death, they will not drop special ammo bricks. This variant will end up with special ammo availability being between the current ammo meter system values and the previous respawn values. During these first 2 weeks, we will gather a substantial amount of data and feedback on both amounts on how both amounts feel in play to inform future tuning of special ammo systems for Trials. The plan is to return the current version of the ammo meter system in the third week of Trials until we can further tune the values. Not swap improvements in competitive in update 7.3.6 and in Trials. For the first 2 weeks while we run the ammo crate experiments, we will be rolling out an improved version of the not swap modifier, which will now remove ability energy if you change the ammo type of a weapon in your kinetic or energy slot mid-life. We are implementing this change because being able to quickly and freely swap between weapons mid-engagement nullifies the downside of using a weapon with limited ammo and pushes the risk versus reward proposal out of balance for making those choices. To clarify, this means you can swap between weapons with the same ammo type without a penalty. For example, if you have conditional finality in your kinetic slot, you can swap it to an Eye of the Soul or other special ammo weapon in that slot without losing energy. However, if you swap to an Immortal or any other primary ammo weapon in that slot, not swap will trigger and drain your ability energy similarly to if you had swapped a part of your subclass or an exotic armor piece. This should prevent occurrences of players running special weapons and swapping to primary weapons immediately after using their ammo, which will make the game state easier to understand. TOS update. We have also updated our terms of service with a focus on matchmaking manipulation moving forward. Intentionally manipulating matchmaking to gain an unfair advantage, whether using Smurf accounts or external third-party tools, will be a bannable offense. This includes attempts to bypass any of our matchmaking systems, including outlier protection, ranked, and fireteam-based matchmaking. A Smurf account is defined as an account that has been intentionally deranked or sabotaged over a sustained period to present itself as a very low-level player for the sole purpose of manipulating matchmaking, which our detections differentiate from actual players. Players who utilize these accounts moving forward will be subject to bans and restrictions depending on the severity of the abuse. This will have no effect on players who play in legitimate fire teams of mixed skill. For example, those who are helping other players to get to the lighthouse, or earn adepts in Trials of Osiris, or guardians who are playing with clanmates or friends who have different skills than their own. In addition, all initial warnings or bans will be manually reviewed by the team. Corrections from 7.3.5 patch notes. 2 changes that were meant to ship with update 7.3.6 were erroneously included in the 7.3.5 patch notes. We have clamped the competitive reward point values to make them less variable and more predictable. The competitive point reward system scales the points you gain or lose based on how good the enemy team was compared to your own and how far under your expected rank you currently are. However, the values between 5 and 275 possible, the reward amounts often fell random. We have reduced the possible variance to 50 and 200, which should make fewer games rewards values feel questionable and will reduce the magnitude of the swings you could get between games. The post-game trials weapon rewards will now only grant the weekly weapon. For example, the weekly adept weapon is the summoner. All post-game drops will also be the summoner to make it easier for people to target farm the role of the weapon they are interested in. All right, bada boom, bada bing. Destiny 2 Into the Light weapon balance update. Here we go. Good day, folks. It's the weapons team here, and with the balance changes for this release, it's a small one, okay? With most changes relating to weapons shipping with Destiny 2 Into the Light weapon archetypes. Weapon archetypes, these changes are all to base weapon damage except for otherwise noted, and they apply to both PvP and PvE. Breach loaded grenade launchers see a fair amount of usage in PvE, but it's mostly wave frames for ad clear or blinding grenades for crowd control. We're cranking up their impact damage for single target utility, and so the mountaintop feels as juiced as it deserves. At the same time, the current radius on disorienting grenades is larger than reasonable for the amount of ammo these have. So we're reining that in a little. Increased impact damage by 40%. This works out at roughly a 15% damage buff, though total damage varies depending on the blast radius stat. Reduced disorienting grenade radii, both damage and disorienting, by 15%. Lightweight bows were hurt a little too much by the PvP bow nerf, leaving them just barely viable. This change helps them deal a bit more chunk damage and clean up wounded targets more easily without exceeding precisions for damage dealt. Increased lightweight bow base damage by 6%. Le Monarch and Wishender are not affected by this change. Precision 450 RPM auto rifles were a little too forgiving in a weapon sandbox where most weapons had become less forgiving, and their effectiveness reflects this. We brought them down a little. Reduced base damage by 5%. Precision 180 RPM and adaptive 140 RPM hand cannons needed a small tweak to how forgiving they are, particularly with the explosive payload perk on adaptives. The same is true of some pulse rifles and rapid fire scouts. So with hand cannons, precision hand cannons can 2 crit, 2 body, low resilience guardians again, and more easily get 3 critical hits with damage boosts. Increase the base damage by 6%. Adaptive hand cannons have an increased range cushion for the 3-tap, and we've offset their damage reduction from explosive payload to allow them to 3-tap guardians of any resilience with an optimal range. So adaptives have increased body shot damage by 1%, increased critical hit damage by 4%. Pulse rifles, rapid fire, have increased forgiveness and allow 8 critical hits to kill low resilience guardians. So rapid fire pulses increased body shot damage by 3.5%, increased critical hit damage by 1%. Lightweight pulses increased body shot damage by 6%, increased critical hit damage by 3%. Adaptive pulses increased body shot damage by 5%, increased critical hit damage by 2%. Scouts, rapid fire, increased base damage 2%. Shotgun, precisions, corrected a rounding issue that was causing precision shotguns to require 1 extra pellet to kill max resilience guardians. For exotics, Whisper of the Worm is coming back and will be craftable. You think? So we wanted to ensure it's a meta pick for damage. Its DPS is already respectable, okay? So we've increased its reserve ammunition, substantially increasing its sustained damage potential. Increase total ammunition from 18 to 24 before reserve mods. 1,000 voices already delivers massive damage per shot, but you'd run out of ammo so fast it was hard to justify bringing it compared to other high damage options. We've increased the reserves to help with this. So they increased the total ammunition from 7 to 11 before reserve mods. Quicksilver Storm has been one of the top PvE primary weapons since its shipped in Season of Thunder, and the time has come to dial it back a little. With these changes, it's slower to build up grenades, and the grenades deal reduced damage. But given that previously one magazine would give you 3 grenades, and each grenade hit felt like a heavy grenade launcher, it's still a very strong option. Increase shots to trigger rockets by 50%. Reduce grenade area effect damage versus combatants by 37.5%. The last word, increased base damage by 6%. Forerunner inadvertently received the ammo sidearm critical damage bonus. We fixed that issue and increased its base damage to compensate. Increased base damage by 6%. Perks, the Recluse is back along with Master of Arms, and in its previous state it was just a little too strong and would eclipse other damage perks, so we brought it down a little. In this form, it's balanced against perks with a similar use case. Reduced the damage bonus from 20 to 15%. The first version of Magnificent Howl on Luna's Howl was super strong. Shortly after it shipped, it ended up getting redesigned, so it stopped breaking PvP. Now that Luna's Howl is returning, we wanted to bring back the potential to 2-tap Guardians in PvP, but with a little more effort. Here's the new perk description. The number of precision final blows before reloading affects the total rounds granted with increased range and damage. Precision final blows, while Magnificent Howl is active, extend the effect for additional rounds. For Micro Missile to make sense on the random rolled version of the Mountaintop, we decided to convert it into an intrinsic, which we could then reuse to make more Micro Missile frame grenade launchers in the future. We also really didn't want to return to a Mountaintop PvP meta, so this version can no longer one-hit kill in PvP, but the improved impact damage increases its viability in PvE, giving it more unique role. It can now be used as a rocket-like jumping tool. We expect some epic movie of the week contenders with this one. So for the Micro Missile, they redesigned this perk to be a weapon intrinsic and rebuilt it to do less direct damage versus players while giving it dramatically more self-physics impulse. Returned its PvE damage to be competitive with other breech-loaded grenade launchers. Granted it a slightly increased reload speed. Permeability fixed an issue where this perk was causing the Slammer sword to get stuck on the strand damage type. Crucible only changes. Flinch can have a randomizing effect on duels, so to increase the reward for skilled gunplay, we've reduced flinch on primary weapons across the board. Reduced flinch taken by all primary weapons by 15%. Sunshot became very unforgiving with the new SANDBOX changes and needed a buff. Increased precision damage by 11% to address this. Wish Ender's exit damage was dealing too much damage, so we adjusted the weapon's base damage to compensate. Reduced base damage by 5%. Corrected some weapons getting incorrect ammo amounts from the meter rewards in crates. Reduced strand fragments cost. Enough said. New light tutorial skip and new light skip. New light tutorial skip and new light kit. We're calling all Guardians of all experience levels to join, rejoin, and bring friends to battle against the Witness. While the New Light campaign serves players new to games like Destiny 2, it might not fit those players already experienced with first-person shooters. Ride to the tower with an Arcadia class ticket, starting in Destiny 2 Into the Light. After completing the second New Light mission, Sean Han will ask you to sync with his ship in the Cosmodrome, providing a new option to leave the New Light tutorial early and head straight to the tower. This option to skip the tutorial will remain for the rest of your time in the Cosmodrome, and no matter when you leave, you will still receive critical rewards like your ship and your Sparrow, so don't worry about missing out if you decide to skip. The ship will remain in the Cosmodrome for the duration of the A Guardian Rises, so players can choose not to skip immediately, can do so at any time afterwards. So here's a screenshot of what the options will be. Tools for the job, new light kits to help bridge the power gap between new Guardians and our more seasoned defenders. Players will now be able to head to the tower and choose a kit handpicked from Ikora and the Vanguard. New light kits are bundles that contain a curated set of gear and subclass abilities. These kits are themed around specific subclass fantasies to help provide players with a shortcut to build crafting and give them a taste of that sweet, sweet space magic. There are 9 kits in all, one for each light subclass. Players can claim one per class. Enjoy. So it goes on to say each new light kit contains 2 legendary weapons, an exotic weapon, 4 rare armor pieces, and a legendary class item, subclass abilities such as aspects and fragments. In addition, new light kits will also grant players a short side quest that, when completed, will grant them a piece of exotic armor. New light kits will be available to all players, so whether you're a new light loading to gear up, a returning player looking to step into the modern sandbox, or a veteran looking to jumpstart a new character, Ikora will help you progress for the fight ahead against the Witness. All right, it goes on to show some new light experience wallpapers. Very cool. Updating the default chat experience. With Destiny 2 Into the Light, we are making some changes to the default chat experience to allow players to connect with other players more easily by creating a more social experience. On April 9th, we'll be updating text chat to auto-join chat channels by default. When you log in, you'll immediately see other players chatting in-game and can jump right into the conversation. Players will also default to auto-join voice chat when in a fire team or fire team lobby. Voice chat for local and team channels will still be off by default. Some players may see chat off by default after the update. This is intentional for our younger players. For more information, please visit our date of birth requirements for Destiny 2 and Bungie services. If you'd like to see what options you have for your account or change available settings, you can visit settings and go under the social tab to view or change your text and voice chat status. Iron Banana returns. It's your first opportunity to earn the new Tusk of the Boar grenade launcher and the reprised Multimach CCX submachine gun. So even if you've already nabbed the Tributary Emblem or Iron Lord title, you have 2 very good reasons to jump back in. Onslaught Legend Challenge. With the release of Destiny 2 Into the Light April 9th comes the new PvE wave-based defense activity Onslaught. To celebrate the release, or looking to reward Guardians who are among the first to conquer the mode on its highest difficulty. So some details starting April 9th when update 7.3.6 goes live. The first 3 fire teams to complete all 50 waves on Legend difficulty will receive a Lord Shaxx 7-inch mini replica helmet per fire team member. We will announce the winners in next week's TWID and we'll reach out to the winners shortly after on bungie.net. This challenge is available to players in the US and Canada. You can get the full details on that page. Show us what you're made of, Guardians, and good luck to everyone going for the Shaxx head. Player support report. About to howl at Luna. Okay, Destiny 2 and access to features. Last month we implemented birth date requirements into Destiny 2 as detailed in our DOB-RA. Some players may be unable to access certain features and functionality based on age or region, such as purchasing silver or text chatting. Players who need to correct their information can submit a help ticket to our team for review. Known issues. Gilding the Guardian Games title champ does not alter the gilded counter. The Season of the Wish versions of the Dreaming City weapons are not dropping the burnished and blue shift dreams shaders. The Last Right scout rifle uses the same visual appearance as the Prophet scout rifle. For a full list of emergent issues in Destiny 2, review our known issues article. If you observe other issues, please report them to our #help forum. All right, then it goes into the artist of the week and the movie of the week. Very cool stuff. Go check it out. That's everything for this week. We can't wait to see everyone dive into next week's update. Onslaught, the Brave Arsenal weapons, reprised exotic missions, character recustomization, and the list goes on. Remember to pace yourselves, take breaks as needed, and make sure to follow our Destiny 2 team accounts, as well as all of Sloop Gaming accounts, as we'll be monitoring the update and responding to questions and feedback. It should be a fun week. We'll be back next week with another TWID. In the meantime, be excellent to each other, and thanks for hanging out with us, the Destiny 2 community team. And there you have it, this week in Destiny for 24. Very cool, a lot of information, basically a recap of everything that was introduced and discussed during the 3 developer live streams, insights for Into the Light. Again, that's dropping next Tuesday, April 9th. Not only are we getting the Into the Light content drop next Tuesday, but it's also going to be the BUNGIE live dev stream for a preview of gameplay for TFS. So obviously here at Sloop Gaming on Twitch, we are going to be reacting to it. We're going to be previewing it. We're going to be doing a Q&A and chat. I can't wait to see everybody in there. I can't wait to get your thoughts on what we're going to witness, no pun intended, next week. I'm very excited for it. I'm also excited for what your thoughts are on today's TWID. As always, let your voice be heard, comment below, and let's level up together. I also wanted to give a big shout out to all the supporters, especially over the past couple months for Sloop Gaming, not only with my live streams, but on my YouTube uploads. It really means a lot for your viewership, your comments. I look at all the feedback. It means a lot. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much. And until next time, Guardians, be safe, stay vigilant, and as always, may the light protect us all.
Thank you for watching. Likes and shares are very much appreciated, and subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. Peace.